NXT starts off with Lola Vice versus Jada Parker. I think it was in a hardcore match, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but basically I know it was a disqualification match. The match was fun. It was carried mainly with the weapons of chairs, trash cans, Kindle stick. It was mainly carried by that, but overall, this was a fun way to start off the fun way to start off in NXT, in the ACW arena. This was a fun way. I don't really have much to really say here. I enjoyed the match. Jada Parker picked up the victory, which I was hoping for. I felt like I wanted Jada Parker to win. I don't think either person really needed the feud per se, but I'm just happy that Jada Parker picked up the victory. You guys know how I feel about Jada Parker, so hopefully we'll see what's next for these two women. What's the next feud that they're going to be in? But overall, I enjoyed this, and this was a fun way to start off NXT. The next match we end up getting, we end up getting Wesley. He ends up attacking RVD before his match with Javon Evans, which ends up playing a very critical role into the match. Javon Evans versus then this leads to Javon Evans and Wesley. Towards the end of the match, RVD ends up coming out. Wesley tries to attack, but RVD ends up avoiding it, which allowed Javon Evans to take advantage. This was a really fun match. This is everything you expect from Wesley and Javon Evans. Very high flying maneuvers, very fast paced. This was really good. Javon Evans doing his typical thing. It was one moment where Javon Evans did an RKO, but they called it a cutter. Well, to be fair, a cutter is basically an RKO to a degree, but it was more of a regular RKO, but they called it a cutter, it was very clean how he did it too, because it's very hard to describe, but it was like he was moving in the air, like leaning. I can't really describe it, but it was very clean how he did it. But this is overall a very fun match, and this is where everything starts to go downhill. After this match, everything just kind of goes downhill from this show. After this, we end up getting the tag match: Ethan Page, Ridge Holland versus Trick and Bubba Ray. Okay, this match, Reg and Ethan ends up picking up the victory via a roll up of Ridge Holland. So I'm assuming they're going to play some angle where Ridge Holland goes after the NXT title since he pinned Trick Williams, which makes sense, I'm assuming. After the match, though, you end up getting Reg and Ethan. They attack Trick, but then Bubba Ray ends up making the save. Then after they destroyed, completely destroyed the heels, then they end up doing all the nostalgia acts and all that, right? But they're trying to get the tables. They're trying to get the tables, but there's no tables. Then Devon Dudley comes out. He brings out a table, and they put Ethan Page through a table. This was overall a fine segment, but it did take a while. It did took a bit of while. I understood why they did this segment, which I'm not mad at. It's just that the other part of the show was disappointing to me as well, which also kind of affect what I'm going to go on about this show. Because this show overall, it wasn't a bad show. It was just okay to me because they relied way too much on nostalgia. Nothing really progressed after the show. Because then afterwards, we ended up getting Tony D'Angelo versus oh my God, I'm gonna mispronounce his. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. I'm gonna mispronounce it. But he ended up facing an ECW legend, which the way they set this up was stupid. Because before the match, basically Tony D'Angelo wasn't answering his calls. He felt disrespected, so he puts himself in a match. And then he ended up putting Adrian Rizzo in a match against Nikita Lyons next week, which I don't understand how that was a punishment because Adriana Rizzo wants to fight Nikita Lyons. So I don't understand. Neither way, by the way, Tony D'Angelo ends up swashing him basically. Look, I get that it was an ECW show, but man, the amount of god dang nostalgia acts was ridiculous. Then there was a point where Rhino made appearance on the show. Look, I was cool with Bubba Ray, Devon, and RVD. Those three I'm cool with. But once we start getting to the Tony D'Angelo match and the Rhino, that's where it's like, okay, we're pushing it. We're starting to push it. It relied way too much on nostalgia. Like, this felt like, it's very weird. This felt like Crown Jewel. I'm going to be like, this felt like Crown Jewel of previous years where nothing progressed. This felt like a filler arc. No offense. Like, I was excited for the show, but it left me disappointed because this just felt like filler. This felt like a filler arc. Like, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe, I don't know. This just felt like filler. This just felt like the biggest filler. Even a 10-woman tag match felt like filler because the match was fine. It was actually pretty solid. The baby faces won, of course. I'm not even going to go that depth in the match. The only thing I will say is towards the end of the match, Zarya ended up spearing Jordan Grace, but still picked up the victory, which I don't understand why. If you was gonna have her spear Jordan Grace, I don't know what was the point of that if you were just gonna have the baby faces win. Because I could understand if you was trying to build up a feud potentially in the future, but we all know she's going back to TNA, so there was no point of the spear. I just felt like if you was gonna have her spear her, you could have had the heels win off that advantage. But if you wasn't gonna have them to win off that, there was no point of having that spear spot anyway, in my opinion. That's just me, but overall, this show it was fine. It was okay. A little very disappointed. I wasn't expecting like some 10 out of 10 banger show, but I was expecting something a little more. Like I don't know. It was just too much relied on nostalgia, and I just felt like no stories really progressed. We did end up getting a quick Ashanti Adonis and Carmen Petrovic segment, which nothing major, but I enjoyed the segment. I'm enjoying that storyline. It's very wild. It's weird. It's a bit crazy, but I enjoy goofy stuff like that. I really don't have much to say about this show. Like I said, it was decent. Nothing really all that. Nothing really progressed. But you guys let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.